Unfortunately, there is a lot more renewed interest in this theme because of the case of the current dead scientists. I mentioned this before. In 2025, 2026, there has been a renewed pattern of suppression and pattern of essentially the best scientists in America, the ones who literally have testified before Congress. And I'm quoting Congressman Tim Burchett. Praise be to Tim Burchett for being one of the last true freedom fighters in D.C. He said that these are the people that have testified before Congress. They are the leaders in the scientific community in the UFO reverse engineering world, and they are being disappeared. They are dying under mysterious circumstances. And this is right after President Trump in February 2026 publicly pledged and directed the government to release files related to the UAP, aliens, and extraterrestrial life. So the playbook is there for anyone willing to look. The President of the United States says we are going to declassify the UFO secret program and the existence of aliens. And then all of a sudden the best scientists in the country are dying at insane rates. A few of the names I'll touch on, and there's I mentioned 9. I'm only going to mention 3 right now. Probably the biggest name that a lot of people have heard about at this point. I at least saw, NBC and John Muir doing a segment on this. That's how you know it's so bad that even the mainstream is reporting on it. We got Major General William Neal McCasland. He's a retired Air Force major who went missing in February 2026. This became a focal point in the online dead missing scientist discourse because of his prior roles in the Air Force research and development circles, and because there's congressmen and writers that are clearly tying him to UAP lore. And then we have Nuno Loureiro, the MIT plasma scientist and fusion director. He was shot and killed in December 2025. This is an obvious case that is confirmed on an elite scientist being killed at his house in the middle of the night. There's Carl Grillmeyer, the Caltech astrophysicist. He's the one who was capable of detecting essentially life on other planets. He identified water on exoplanets near our solar system. He was shot and killed February 2026. And so this renewed interest in the current case of the dead scientist definitely for me hits a lot harder knowing what I know about the long history of free energy suppression, and whether this is actual free energy type of suppression or just kind of the broader UFO reverse engineering program and existence of alien life on other planets. Like, it's an astrophysicist, it's an MIT fusion scientist, it's a retired Air Force general, so kind of not necessarily just energy technology, but potentially broader, identifying alien type of people. And it's important to know that we have congressmen like Tim Burchett, like Anna Paulina Luna, literally telling the media that there's likely a conspiracy in play. Americans need to start waking up because our top scientists are the smartest people in America that testified before Congress. That's the most important part, is these people I just mentioned, these people I'm not even mentioning, are the ones that testified before Congress. And then Trump says he's going to release the UFO files, and then they start dying at incredible rates. So if you want to just write it off as a coincidence, go and write it off as a coincidence. But if you are as far down the rabbit hole as me, I've said it before, you don't believe in coincidences, especially not to this extent. And so, yeah, the timing it's eerie, it's stark. Trump says release the files. Burchett is warning about whistleblower fear, and that's why people are not coming forward. That's why people are not blowing the lid on this back engineering UFO technology and the existence of aliens. And we have congressmen saying that people are actively afraid of getting killed if they come forward, and that's why the number of whistleblowers is limited, and the ones that do come forward are killed. And then you have a string of these high profile cases, and the internet is immediately trying to stitch this into one narrative that, this is part of a kill list. Maybe it's all coincidences. It's scary. It's really scary. And, the reason I'm creating a media brand, doing a podcast, is because I'm trying to enlighten the public. I'm a lot farther down the rabbit hole than the average Joe. I listen to podcasts and watch documentaries and take notes and turn them into articles and dissertations. And I do my information cataloging, on a daily basis. And I know that other people don't. They just want to focus on their finance jobs. They don't want to know all this stuff, because once you know as much as I do, it becomes really hard to climb a corporate ladder your whole life. And I get it. I get why people don't want to know about this stuff, but at some point in time, the general public needs to wake up, because eventually all of our scientists are going to be dead, and we're going to be living in the world of fossil fuels for 500 years when it should have been replaced hundreds of years ago. The free energy closer, I'm going to point to Stephen Greer's documentary, The Lost Century and How to Reclaim It. And the I guess, overarching thesis of Greer in this documentary is that UFO secrecy is not just about, are we alone? Aliens are obviously real. They've been here. They've been monitoring us. Humanity is likely the result of alien experimentation, whatever you want to believe. It's extraterrestrial, could be crypto-terrestrial, probably interdimensional. But it's about this century of suppressed energy technology that's honestly more important than the existence of aliens. This breakthrough energy and propulsion systems, since the late 1800s, disruptive energy inventions have been confiscated, bought, intimidated, or black-shelved, and that much of the most advanced work now lives inside classified programs and defense contractor ecosystems like Lockheed Skunk Works, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, etc. They are perpetually kept at these defense contracting companies and never released into the public. And so this implication, if true, is obviously civilization changing, where near zero cost energy would rewrite everything: desalination, clean air and water, manufacturing, transportation, and the basic economics of poverty and abundance. And that's exactly why Greer argues it stays buried. It would render the entire $1 trillion fossil fuel system obsolete, and centralized grids and the broader scarcity based model of control. The world as we live in would have you believe that the earth is a very scarce place with limited resources, but that is because we are not tapped into the world of free energy. We are tapped into the mere fossil fuel, non-renewable types of energy, which is scarce, but the universe is abundant, and these inventions have been made that would allow humanity to evolve. It would solve problems of poverty, and it would solve most of the world's problems we live in. But the people that control the world, the people that profit the most, the people that operate above government, do not let this shit get out, because it would render their power more obsolete, because they thrive on this fossil fuel industry. And Steve Greer connects this to a bigger Truman Show and Plato's cave type of thesis that we live inside an engineered paradigm of planned obsolescence and managed scarcity, where anything that threatens the model gets neutralized. And so whether you buy the full extent of this conspiracy that I am laying forth upon you, the core question that the film forces is simple: are we being held back on purpose, and what would the world look like if the best technology was not classified? And I'll end this free energy thread, part 1 of the Money Runs the World episode, by saying that, it's funny, because if you tell, 99% plus of the general public that there is a shadow cabal that kills free energy scientists every time an invention is made, and every time an invention threatens the fossil fuel system, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. But it really is only crazy until you start fucking reading something, until you start looking into the things that actually matter. It's not very hard to realize. Just Google 5 of the names, Google 5 of the case studies that I have been talking about, do 20 minutes of AI research, and it'll become overwhelmingly clear that there's no debate on what is actually going on. And it would be great for the earth to be saved and to make this shift from fossil fuels and non-renewable resources. But, one of the reasons that reminds me every morning when I wake up is the sound of these lawnmowers. And it just, every single day I hear, lawnmowers, and seeing people fill up their cars on gas and complaining about how gas prices have risen since the Iran war. And I'm just constantly reminded every single day of the free energy suppression that exists, and that we are not supposed to be using this technology anymore. We should have stopped using this technology in the early 1900s. It's been hundreds of years of suppression, and we are still using barbaric energy technology. The fossil fuel system is literally barbaric, and it is being held together because a cabal that operates above government runs the world and doesn't allow this tech to get out. And obviously I seem a little crazy to people who haven't gotten their feet wet. And for people who haven't looked into any of this stuff, that I'll continue my disclaimer and say I'm not trying to, cause an uprising. I will bow down to the system. I'm not trying to make any enemies. So I'm just trying to use my First Amendment, and just enlighten the world. And hopefully one day that we won't be hearing, when I wake up in the morning, I won't be hearing a lawnmower that I can hear from 5 houses down. And hopefully that there will be some type of free energy, implemented. Please, at some point, please.